Hello everyone, I'm TC Lee. This is the Tank Club, and today we're looking at, is the Champion Point 2.0 system overpowered for tanks? Okay guys, so today I'm going to tell you about the testing we've been doing regarding the new CP, the new Champion Point 2.0 system on the PTS. Please note at this point of making this video, the PTS is still live, and that means that things are subject to change. That being said, the week 4 PTS notes seem to suggest that the current Champion Point system is the one that will go live. Combine this with the fact that the Flames of Ambition DLC will go live on PC on the 8th of March, and that no changes can be made 2 weeks before that due to Stadia. It's likely that this is the last week. So we are unlikely to see any more PTS updates moving forward, although the PTS will remain open. So the question is, why would I say that CP is overpowered for tanks? So CP 2.0 has seen a lot of changes, but it's not just that. The first major thing that we need to know is that tanks are generally focused on mitigation. In the CP, we have a lot of health, resistances, mitigation, and reduced cost CP. And those are the CP that we're really going to be focusing on as a tank. We also have to consider that we have limited slots available for CP passive, so we can only make use of 4 of each coloured CP tree at a time. This means that we're limited on the things that we can choose. So if we are going to choose mitigation, obviously that restricts our ability to choose other things. Compared with damage dealers and healers, tanks will have a much easier time with the Champion Point 2.0 system, and this is because damage dealers need to apply CP into damage and mitigation. Healers need to apply their CP into healing and mitigation, and a tank doesn't have to apply their CP into healing or damage, really. You can go full mitigation. So it means that you need much less points than both damage dealers and healers. So it's much more difficult for those roles to kind of optimize their CP in the same way that a tank can, because we can just focus all our points in the necessary and appropriate places, whereas for those roles, they need to apply points into mitigation and damage, or mitigation and healing, and it becomes a little bit more difficult, and they need a much more CP to be able to reach that point. So yeah, for tanks, this is just not the case. We aim straight for the mitigation. You can achieve the maximum efficiency much earlier. Okay, so is the new CP system overpowered? Well, it's a combination of things that might lead us to suggest that CP 2.0 is overpowered for tanks. One of the first things is the base 10% mitigation that everybody has been given. So now, all characters of level 50 have now got a 10% base mitigation for free. You don't need to do anything to achieve it. You don't have to do anything. You've just got that. Your character's got it. And that's part of how it is now. We've then got the changes to armor and the additional heavy armor benefits, which reduce our damage taken from physical attacks, from martial attacks by 1% per piece. So if we're wearing 5 pieces, that's 5% against physical damage. And increases the amount of damage blocked by 1%. So again, if we're wearing 5 pieces, 5% extra damage that can be blocked. And this adds on to everything else. This adds on to all of the other mitigation we've got as well. So we combine all these things together, and it works out really nice for tanks. Some people seem to think that the increased damage taken from magical attacks is going to be a problem, and this is not the case, however, because it's mitigated almost instantly by the increased damage that we can block and the 10% base mitigation that we now have, that we didn't have before. With the old CP system, we used to put points into Hardy, Elemental Defender, and Ironclad, generally, for kind of most situations, most trials and dungeons and content. This would have provided somewhere in the region of 10% mitigation. In the Flames of Ambition DLC, we now have that 10% base mitigation, which basically covers us for those CP that we would have put in last patch. But now we have the new CP system that we can add on top of the 10% mitigation, which we had last patch from the CP. Now we've got that already as a base value, and we can add more mitigation CP on top of that. So we can load more and more mitigation on top of the stuff we've already got from the heavy armor passives and from the mitigation, from the base mitigation that we've already got. Okay, so the big question is, how overpowered is CP 2.0 if we are a tank? So what we did was we compared the damage on the live server versus the PTS with the new mitigation, CP, and armor bonuses. We went into the same fight in the same gear, on the same tank, with the same skills, in the same setup. We had 5-on-1, all that kind of stuff. The first test we did was a physical damage test, and we took some blocked physical hits on the live server without major resolve. And with fully optimized 810 CP, we took 26,078 damage, and that's without major resolve. So that's 26,078 damage at 810 CP on the live server, fully optimized CP, all that kind of stuff. So then we went on to the PTS, and we took a blocked hit of physical damage with 0 CP. It's the exact same thing that hit us in the same gear, the only difference being we didn't have any CP. This hit was 30,316. So not really that much difference between having 0 CP on the PTS versus 810 CP optimized on the live server. We did the same again using the CP from the tankclub.com CP page. We've got a Flames of Ambition DLC kind of CP 2.0 page that we've got it all on there. And we increased our CP to 160. And with 160 CP, we got hit for 27,890 damage. We then took a hit at 200 CP, and we got hit for 27,155. Did the same again at 300 CP, and we took a hit of 25,541. Now, 25,541 damage at 300 CP on the PTS is less than the hit we took on the live server with the fully optimized 810 champion points. So essentially, somewhere between 200 and 300 CP, our tank is the same or better strength in terms of mitigating physical damage as in at max CP 810 on the live server. Okay? We tested the CP for every 100. So we did 160 CP because that's the gear cap. Then we went 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 1,100. The final CP test was at 1,100 CP, since that's the highest point you need to go to get all of your mitigation and resistance CP passives. And with that, we got hit for 19,345 on the PTS. So the difference between 810 CP on the live server and 1,100 CP tank on the PTS is 6,733 less damage on the PTS than the live server. Next, we did a magic damage test, and we took a blocked magic hit on the live server without major resolve, and we got hit for 6,339 damage with fully optimized 810 CP. This is the same gear again, same skills, same tank, same hit, same everything. On the PTS, we took a blocked magic hit with 0 CP, and we got hit for 8,203 damage. So then we moved it up to 160 CP. The hit was 7,595. At 200 CP, 7,416. 300 CP was 6,992. 400 CP, we took a hit of 6,347, which is almost the same as the 810 hit on the live server. That pretty much the same at that point. Couple of damage difference, basically the same. At 400 CP, on the PTS, our tank is of the same strength at mitigating magic attacks as our 810 CP on the live server. And we did the same again, where we tested every 100 CP up to 1,100 CP, and the 1,100 CP hit on the PTS was 5,273. So the difference in the damage there, 1,066 damage less on the PTS than the live server. So what do the numbers tell us? In review, if you are 300 CP in the next DLC, in the Flames of Ambition DLC, you are as effective at tanking with regards to mitigating physical damage as you would be at 810 CP on the current live server. If you take all the mitigation and resistance CP, you'll need around 1,100 CP, at which point you're taking 30% less damage than a max CP tank currently is. So 1,100 CP, that's where all of the damage, mitigation and the resistance CP end. And at that point, 30% less damage you will take next patch. At 400 CP, on the PTS you are as effective at tanking with regards to mitigating magic damage as you would be at 810 CP on the live server. Again, if you take all the mitigation and resistance CP, you'll need 1,100 CP. And at that point, you're taking 18% less magic damage than you are as a max CP on the live server currently. So quite a big difference. We've got 30% less physical and 18% less magic damage in 5.1.1 compared to between next patch and current patch. Now, the two most important CP passives you need to prioritize for damage mitigation seem to be preparation from the Warfare CP, which reduces your damage taken by 8% when you max it out. So this one reduces your damage taken from non-player attacks by 2% per stage. We max that out, 40 points, 8% damage reduction. This is your first priority when you put in your blue CP into place, because this is all attacks that are non-player attacks. It doesn't matter if it's AoE, if it's damage over time, if it's magic, if it's physical. This is the priority because it's much bigger, so that's 2% per stage. If you focus just primarily on magic damage, that's only going to net you 1% per stage. So this is your absolute number one priority for your blue CP as a tank, is going to 40 points in preparation. In the red CP, we've got the same. We've got another one. So we've got fortification, which increases the amount of damage you can block by 2% per stage. This caps out at 6% block mitigation when it's maxed out. So this is the most important red CP to pick up on the red champion points. So yeah, when you add those two champion points into when you've got those two champion point passives into play, those are the most important ones, and they make the biggest difference in reducing damage. We tested a few different ones. We tested points into different places first, and we took other points out, and those are the two things that made the biggest difference to your overall damage mitigation and reducing your damage, and they made a huge difference. Okay, so all of the information about Champion Points 2.0 is already on thetankclub.com. When you reach thetankclub.com, you come to the optimization tab, and we've got the Champion Points 2.0 page. We've already got listed all of the possible setups of CP from 160 and then going up in hundreds from there up to 1,600. So we've got those listed already. I've tried to highlight the priority CP. And more will be added as we go closer to the next patch as the patch is released. It's listed in stages, so you can figure it out nice and easy. If you are 200 CP, for example, you would click 200 CP, you would apply those points. And then if you reach 230 CP, you just work your way up to 300, so you look at the 300 tab and start putting points into the passage you have at 300 and try and build your CP up that kind of way. And build up towards that setup in the future. And the same for the others as well. So when you're 300 CP, you want to have those champion points and then work your way up to 400 by looking at what you need to prioritize moving up to 400 CP. Using these CP setups are the exact same ones as we used in the tests. So if you want to kind of replicate those kind of numbers and those kind of tests, and you want to look at the damage difference between the live and the PTS, these are the CPs we use. These are the exact ones used in all the tests. So feel free to test this out for yourself as well. This page will be updated again, like I say, things might change still. This will be updated if things change. And we've also got all the good stuff at the bottom as well. So if you're not able to log into the game, but you still want to look at the CP stuff, we've got all the information about all of the most important tank CP at the bottom of the page as well. So you can read what they do, how many points are needed, and all that kind of stuff as well. They're also listed in kind of priority order. So they're listed left to right in priority of where you should take them. And it kind of filters nicely. If you're not sure, you're looking at the website, you're trying to figure out the difference between you want to know what kind of the CP thing that you're putting into. You want to look at what these are. You can scroll down and have a quick look at that. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching. Again, make sure you check out thetankclub.com. If you've got any questions or you want to speak about any of this, any discussions about the Champion Point system, make sure you check out the PTS channel on the Tank Club Discord. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.